Okay, well, good evening, everyone. My name is Patricia Atherley. I am the Senior Assistant Registrar and Director of our Student Enrollment and Retention Unit here at the Cayfield campus. And it is my pleasure to welcome you all to this virtual information session for the Faculty of Law as we look to enroll our new cohort of students, both undergraduate and postgraduate, for the 2025-26 academic year. So this is an opportunity for all those who are thinking of joining our Faculty of Law or dreaming of joining our Faculty of Law to learn a bit more about the faculty, and then afterwards to have an opportunity to answer any questions that you may have. So we have a panel this evening made up of both leaders within the faculty, student representative, lecturers within the faculty, and admissions or administration staff that will be here to answer, to present to you, share with you, and also to answer any questions that you may have. So how it's going to go, we're going to have some presentations, then we are going to break out into one main breakout room for those persons who are interested in postgraduate studies, and then the rest who are interested in the LLB will stay in this main room to ask any questions that you may have. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you the Interim Dean of the Faculty of Law, Dr. Antonius Hippolyte, who will give his welcome remarks. Dr. Hippolyte.
Thank you, Mrs. Atherley. Hi, good evening, colleagues, parents, prospective students. Please permit me to apologize for the state of my camera this evening. My camera doesn't seem to want to cooperate, so that it's appearing a bit blurry. Nonetheless, on behalf of the Faculty of Law at the University of the West Indies Cayfield campus, I am delighted to welcome you this evening to this information session. It is a true pleasure to see so many eager minds interested in pursuing a legal education at our esteemed faculty. At the Faculty of Law, we pride ourselves not only in the excellence of our academic programs, but also on the values of service, leadership, and social responsibility that we instill in our students. So as you consider taking this crucial step towards your future, I encourage you to think not just of the degree you will earn here with us, but of the profound impact you will have on your respective communities and countries, the Caribbean, and the world in general. As you'd appreciate, the legal profession is one of the most dynamic and fulfilling fields. Whether you wish to practice in the courtroom, work in corporate law, become a public servant, or even contribute to the international development, a degree in law, due to its versatility, will open doors to many opportunities. Our programs are designed to provide you with the academic rigor, practical skills, and ethical foundations necessary to succeed in whichever path you choose. So as my colleagues will illustrate shortly, throughout your time at the UWI Cayfield Faculty of Law, you will be guided by a diverse faculty of dedicated scholars, experienced legal professionals, and passionate individuals who are committed to nurturing your intellectual curiosity, critical thinking, and analytical abilities. We strive to offer a learning environment that is collaborative, innovative, and reflective of the diverse legal systems and cultures that define our region. In addition to the rigor of our academic offerings, the Cayfield campus offers a prospective student the opportunity to build lifelong friendships due to the diverse nature of the student body at Cayfield. The campus also offers you as a student the opportunity to participate in many extracurricular activities that will enhance education and prepare you for a successful career in law. You have the opportunity to participate in the Law Society, local, regional, and international moot competition, the Debating Society, participation as an executive member of the Guild of Students, to name a few. We understand that choosing a university and a career path is a significant decision. As such, our role here to this evening is to help you navigate this process, answer any questions you may have, and provide you with the information you need to make an informed choice about your future. As such, we encourage you to ask as many questions as you may have, and leave feeling comfortable with your decision to pursue law at the UWI Keyville campus. Thank you once again for being here this evening. We are excited about the possibility of you joining our vibrant Faculty of Law community and look forward to guiding you on this exciting journey. I encourage you to enjoy this session, and please don't hesitate to ask myself or my colleagues any questions you may have this evening. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much, Dean Hippolyte, the leader of the Faculty of Law, the current head of the Faculty of Law, Dean Antonius Hippolyte, delivering his welcome remarks. And now we move to the Deputy Dean, Dr. Erskine Burke, who will give you further information about the Faculty of Law, particularly focusing on the undergraduate program and also speaking perhaps to careers where that program can take you. So it's a pleasure to welcome Dr. Burke.
Yes, good evening, everyone, and we're happy to see so many of you. Mrs. Atherley started off by encouraging those of you who were dreaming about entering the law faculty to continue to do so. Well, we're here, perhaps to borrow a real estate slogan, we're here to make your dreams a reality. We want you within months' time, within a few years' time, whenever it is that you are applying, to be a part of our faculty. The Faculty of Law is an excellent place to learn. It has had a long tradition of producing legal scholars. We pride ourselves on the diversity of the program that we offer, and we also pride ourselves on the diversity of the staff that we engage to deliver the program. This evening, I know we don't have a lot of time, but I'm going to take maybe 5 or 7 minutes just walking you through the actual courses that you will be engaged in. So we'll begin by looking at year 1. So I'll walk you through this process, offer you some advice, and then as Mrs. Atherley said, I'll say a few things at the end. So when you enter the law faculty as a first-year student, you embark upon certain foundation courses. So you do courses such as language, argument, Caribbean civilization, science, med, and tech. You do foreign language course if you don't have a foreign language coming into the faculty. Now, those foundation courses, as you may discover, exemptions are available depending on one's background, etc. All right, so you might be able to be exempted from certain foundation courses. Then you come in the first semester as well to Law and Legal Systems, Criminal Law 1, and then Legal Methods, Research, and Writing. These are the basic early courses when you enter the faculty. These courses are important for you because you will discover that a lot of the principles that you learn in first year are principles that you will build upon in some of the other courses that you do. Come to semester 2 of year 1, and you have constitutional law, you have criminal law part 2, you have legal methods, research, and writing part 2 as well. Then you come to what is described at some universities as the law of obligation. So you have tort and contract. So we've split these courses here. You do the first part of these courses in year 1. After year 1, we come to year 2, where we build on what we've done in the first year, as you just heard me say. So you do the law of tort 2, you do law of contract 2, you do real property 1, you're introduced to real property for the first time. Then you do public international law as well as jurisprudence in the first semester of year 2. So those are 5 courses per semester. And then in semester 2 of year 2, you do real property part 2, public international law part 2, administrative law, equitable remedies, as well as Commonwealth Caribbean human rights law. All right. Now, the significant part of our talk this evening has to do with third year. In third year, you have a myriad of choices. So you have these elective courses. You have several options in your third year. This is where a student who might have a particular interest is able to pursue that a little bit further. As some students might describe it, they will say it is an opportunity to specialize. So whatever you want to say about it, it presents an opportunity for you now to double down on the courses of interest. Just to walk you through a little bit of this, a person who's interested in employment law, for example, can do both employment as well as discrimination in employment, two courses that go hand in hand. And that's we also have industrial relations law as well. Those are good courses for those who perhaps might want to pursue a career in that area. For those persons who are interested in family law, we carry both family law 1 as well as family law 2. All right, in one semester of third year, and then in the other semester of third year, you have the family law 2. We also build on some of the stuff that you did before. So we have administration of trusts and estates. We have the law of trust as well. Those are very significant and foundational courses. We encourage students to do the law of trust because it is one of the pillars of your LLB program. Thereafter, you have Caribbean environmental law, you have oil, energy, and gas law. Those are some of the emerging areas that are of great interest to modern students. So we emphasize those areas as well and encourage students to undertake those types of courses. Now, you also have a fairly significant corporate law block. So you have company law, which is also one of the important pillars. But in addition to company law, a student can then pursue the law of corporate insolvency, the law of corporate finance, and the law of corporate management, depending on what is offered in a particular semester. All right. Now, you also have on the slightly corporate law side, you have offshore law. All right, which is also one of those areas that might be of interest to you. All right, and then in addition to that, we have competition law, which is sometimes offered depending on the interests of the students and depending on the availability of staff. All right, in addition to that, we have some courses that we have recommenced. For example, we have law, technology, and the internet, which seems to be of some interest to the modern student as well. And then one of our important courses as well in third year is the introduction to legislative drafting. So students who might have some desire to pursue legislative drafting as a career, all right, and to be able to draft legislation, work in Parliament, etc. They might find this course to be a good foundational course before they pursue postgraduate studies in the said area. All right, now we have all other types of courses, and depending on the availability of staff, as I said, you might be able to do the introduction to Chinese law, where you learn about Chinese institutions, etc. Then you also have international organizations, which is one of the courses that we have had there in the past. And then significantly, I want to say a word on the independent research paper. Students are encouraged to do this course in third year, where you write a 10,000 word paper on an area of interest, and you're supervised by a member of faculty. This is also good training for those then who want to embark upon the LLM program. All right, so those are some of the courses that we offer. Very interesting and very exciting. We pride ourselves on offering many courses, so students have many options in the third year, and we're always happy about that. They're not just 5 or 6 options in the third year in a particular semester, but very often you have 11 and 12 different options, and that is a fairly generous offering. So you will find that to be very helpful for you. Now, students who come and read for our LLB, invariably 80% of those students will go on to law school, all right, where they will embark upon formal training, and they'll then be called to the bar. All right, that call into the bar of whatever jurisdiction, all right, that they've chosen to do so. Now, that is only but one aspect, though. We have people who are HR professionals, people who are engaged in commerce, etc. We have accountants and other people who come to the law faculty and they do law because they see it as broadening their horizons a little bit. There's a little bit of a convergence with some of these careers and legal principles. So an HR professional might have a particular interest in contract law, the law of tort, employment law, discrimination in employment, etc. So that particular person may see it fitting to come to the law faculty to pursue law. And just as I said, in the corporate world, persons who are involved in the financial sectors, etc., they're persons who are very interested in our program. So if you're listening this evening and perhaps that is your background, this LLB definitely is going to be the place for you. We have some people who go on to be pure academics as well. So some people do law for the purposes of teaching law. And an academic career is also one which is a fairly good and viable option. So we have persons who come from a myriad of different backgrounds, but they find the LLB to be useful for them. And particularly, as I said, in the third year where you have the elective courses, those persons can then specialize in areas of particular interest to them. All right, so that gives you a little bit of a background in terms of what is offered here. The law faculty is a competitive faculty. Not always the easiest we know to get into, but we encourage you to apply. All right, except you put in an application, you don't know how good your chances are. All right, and we welcome students from all across the world. All right, that is something that we pride ourselves on as well. There's one UWI campus, so we know that these programs are replicated at Mona and at St. Augustine, but we encourage students to come from anywhere in the world. UWI is the best place to study law, and the Faculty of Law at CAFIL is an excellent place for you to start. So as the Dean indicated in his brief introduction, we're here at the end to answer questions that you might want to raise. But in the interim, we're going to allow the Law Society president and some others to make contributions. So we look forward to hearing from you, and we look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Deputy Dean, Dr. Burke, for that lovely introduction to the faculty, particularly that introduction to the LLB program and all that distinguishes it, particularly that lovely slate of third-year options that really makes the CAFIL program perhaps stand out among the programs across the university system. Dr. Burke said that the faculty welcomes, as indeed the university welcomes persons from across the world, and it would be good to know who we have joining us this evening. So you can just put in the chat, let us know where you're from, so we have an idea as to the spread of our participants, our attendees this evening. At this point, I welcome a lovely young lady who has turned her camera on, and she is the president of the Law Society. Her name is Tony-Ann Watson, and she's going to tell you a little bit now about what it is like to be a student, particularly an undergraduate student in the Faculty of Law, and what is likely to be available to you beyond the challenging work of studying law. So Tony-Ann, welcome.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. As is mentioned, my name is Tony-Ann Watson, and I am the Faculty of Law representative on the Cave Hill Guild of Students, and this year's president for the Cave Hill Law Society. Now, very generally speaking, I do believe that it is a good idea to study at Cave Hill. We have a very diverse campus, one that is not necessarily the same or replicated at the other UWI campuses. And so on this campus, you are exposed to persons of various nationalities across the Caribbean region, as well as the world. But more specifically, as it relates to the Faculty of Law, I'm a little bit biased, but I would say that this faculty is the best among the three. We have the Cave Hill Law Society, which is the student representative body. It has 18 positions on it, occupied by persons from across the region. And our goal is primarily student welfare, ensuring that your needs are met and that wherever there is a falter on the part of the institution, that we represent your needs and your concerns, your issues to faculty and to administration at large. Beyond that representative capacity, however, we do endeavor to ensure that you have a good time while you're here. As Dr. Burke would have mentioned, it is not the easiest degree to read for. It's very challenging, and at times it can be overwhelming, to say the least. But the society is particular in ensuring that you have a holistic experience on campus, whether it be your academic needs, your professional concerns, your social concerns, your mental concerns, all of the above. And so from the beginning of the academic year, straight up to the end to examinations, we ensure that there are a plethora of initiatives, of events that will cater to you, the students. And so we start off in first semester with maybe some of the more academic things so that you can settle in to your studies. So whether it be our repository, which is our notes bank, this includes contributions from students past who have maybe simplified notes that may assist you as you go through your lecture notes and whatever slides you have been given or whatever books and materials you have been given for your courses, to or mooting competitions, which helps to boost your practical skills as a student, get you that kind of taste of what it's like to present submissions before a panel of judges. We have our fundraising events, of course. We have social events. We have social mixers. We give out exam packages. We also have a scholarship that typically comes around at the end of the year, but it qualifies as one of those academic-based initiatives for the society. We have writing workshops that go in hand with legal methods research and writing, which is a course you'll have to do in first year, to help you from a student perspective in bolstering your writing skills. We provide support in what ways we can, and if we can't do it, we'll direct you to those who may be better able to assist you. On a professional standpoint, we've had sessions, especially this year, with judges of the Court of Appeal, magistrates in district courts, attorneys in their fields, whether it be family, whether it be criminal law, corporate law, whatever it might have been. We had sessions with them where they bring the profession to you in a bit more of a palatable way, so it doesn't seem as rigid and as petrifying as it often can come across, but they kind of bring it down to your level and they have a great one-on-one conversation with you. So we have a multiplicity of chances for you to be better academically, to have a head start professionally, and wherever we can with your mental health, we do our best in that regard as well. We have Law Week, which actually we're currently in the middle of. Today is our 4th event for the week where we've invited Justice of Appeal Chandler, as well as Mr. Andrew Pilgrim KC. And so they'll be here this evening to speak to the students on the lawyer's role in shaping the future. So these little events, this week of activities, they're created and curated for you all to enjoy your time on campus and to make the best of it. And that is why I would definitely say that Cave Hill might be the best choice for you, especially as you seek to study law. Or Law Society, though I am biased, is the best of the 3. And wherever we can help you, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I'm willing to answer. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Tony-Ann, very much for that introduction to student life in the Faculty of Law. During that time, we have had a number of persons put in the chat letting us know where they're from. And not surprisingly, we have persons from all over the Caribbean: St. Vincent, Dominica, Trinidad, Bahamas, Jamaica, St. Lucia, Antigua, Guyana, St. Kitts and Nevis. I hope I haven't left any out. I'm sure I have Grenada, but we also have persons on from Ghana. We have someone from Cameroon and from Nigeria as well. So we welcome you all, and it is really a pleasure to have you join in our session this evening. Now, at this point, we are going to wrap up our presentations that have to do specifically with undergrad and with a taster lecture, which is always an exciting part of this virtual information session. And then after this, we're going to go on. Those persons who are here to hear specifically about postgraduate studies, we're going to go on to the presentation on postgraduate programs. But at this point, it is my pleasure to welcome Ms. Carla Ali, a lecturer in the Faculty of Law, who will give you a little taste of what it is like to be in a classroom and to hear a law lecture. So this is specifically for those persons who are thinking or dreaming about going into the LLB program. Ms. Ali,
Hi,
welcome.
good evening. Are you all hearing me clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great,
And
great. Let
seeing
me
you
just,
clearly.
okay, good. Let me just join in the discussion and say I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. So students, you do have a variety of um, lecturers, lecturers from different jurisdictions as well. So that enhances your CAPEL experience. So I think that law is a lot about life. Okay, so let me explain. I love hotels. Okay, and I love hotels for three main reasons. One, in a hotel, it tells you that I'm in a different place. A hotel also says I'm having a different experience. And the third thing is that when you're at a hotel, you don't have to make your own bed, right? And absolutely, I mean, I love making my bed, but the one time somebody else could make it, I really feel a bit, appreciated. Okay. So even though I love hotels and I've stayed at a couple, over my years of life, one hotel chain I've never stayed at is Sandals. And what does that have to do with law? Well, in 2021, the owner and founder of the Sandals Group passed away. And when he passed away, he left 4 children in Jamaica and a common law wife and 4 children in the US. There started the family law issues, and as we say in the Caribbean, the bacchanal. Because when he passed, his common law wife contended that the day before he passed, he signed an agreement which gave his US family a substantial stake in the Sandals business. However, his Jamaican children contended that that did not happen. And that even if it did happen, at the time that he passed, he was not of sound mind to enter into such an agreement. So the matter is now before the court, and there are lots of issues that are being raised. Okay, because the Jamaican family continues to contend that the way he structured his business did not account for any other family or any other offspring or people for whom he may have made any allowance post-death to benefit from the business, right? He made allowances for them to benefit in other ways, but not to have shares in the business. So that raises a lot of issues that we deal with in family law 1, which is the law related to husband and wife, okay? So it deals with marriage, unions other than marriage, property, maintenance, trust, all of those things, inheritance rights, all of those are wrapped up into this one Sandals case. That's why I said law is about life. Let me give you another example. So I also teach family law 2, which is the law related to children. I have a 14-year-old son, and for now, he has the benefit of being an only child. What does that mean for him? Well, by extension of me loving hotels, I love to travel. So he has the benefit of traveling with me, right? Being my little travel buddy. So he often travels with me, or sometimes he will travel with his father, and sometimes he will travel with him alone and not together. But in his 14 years of life and in the places that we have both taken him to, nobody has ever stopped us to ask for proof that this child belongs to us, one, and that there's permission from this single parent to take this child out of the country. And it's even more stark in my regard because my son does not have my last name. So the question is, can I kidnap my son? Can I abduct my son? Is there a difference between child kidnapping and child abduction? What would amount to child kidnapping and child abduction? Are the authorities creating a scenario, a situation that fosters that type of behavior? And what does that have to do with custody? Can I just take custody of my son and take him to anywhere in the world and decide I'm not coming back? Does that violate his right to have a relationship with his father? What are my rights? And what are his father's rights as parents? And all those, as I said, are issues that we deal with in family law too, the law relating to children. So law is about life. So when you come to Cave Hill, I want you to think about it from that perspective. Every time you sit in a lecture, think about it from a very practical place. Okay? Think about it from, okay, how can I apply what I just heard or what I just learned to the things that I know? Am I seeing anything happening in the media? Am I hearing anything on the news that I could relate to these scenarios? And how would I apply it? How do I start to think and approach life as a lawyer? And that's it for me. I hope you all enjoyed the taster lecture.
Well, I don't know if they did, but I can tell you, I certainly did. Law is about life. What a thing to remember as a student, a person looking to go on to the study of law. Law is about life, and it seems as if the study of law is about studying life in some really exciting perspectives. Ms. Ali, I want to thank you so much for that little taste of what it is like to study law and to study law at the UWI Cave Hill campus.
You're
So,
welcome.
prospective students, there you have it. Think about life as you think about law and the application of it. So at this point, we are going to move from undergrad and we are moving to the postgraduate programs. And I know I should have asked you when you wrote in the chat where you're from to also indicate whether you're interested in undergrad or postgrad, so we started to get a sense of that, but we didn't. But we have this evening to present to you about the range of range of postgraduate programs that are offered within the Faculty of Law at Cave Hill. We have the Deputy Dean, Dr. Janelle Matthews, who will present to you on those postgraduate programs. So even for the undergrads, this is what you have to look forward to when you have finished your LLB. Dr. Matthews, welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Ms. Atherley. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. I hope that you are enticed by our LLB program, and I'm hoping to entice those of you who are here for the postgraduate bit to come and join us in our postgraduate program. So welcome to UWI Cave Hill campus, which is sort of the seat of the LLM program. You would have heard from my colleagues, Dean Antonius Hippolyte and Deputy Dean for Student and Academic Affairs, Dr. Erskine Burke. I, as you've heard, am the Deputy Dean for Graduate Studies and Research. I also teach Criminal Law 1 and 2 on the undergraduate program. So when you join us here at Cave Hill as an LLM, you'll be joining us online. But for legislative drafting, all of our offerings are strictly online. And you will first have to register with the Cave Hill campus within the first week of every semester until your degree has been awarded. Registration is a two-part process. You select courses, your courses online and your program, and then you pay the payment to the bursary. Now, our program allows us to award a graduate diploma, the taught master's LLM, and also research degrees, MPhil and PhD. While the MPhil and PhD programs are a bit more straightforward and really catered towards what areas of study students are interested, individual areas of study that students may be interested in. I want to spend more time with speaking about our graduate diploma, our taught programs and our newly created double degree programs. So first we have the UE Graduate Diploma Program. And here students register for only 4 courses, and each course is worth 6 credits. So students who complete 24 credits would be awarded with the degree. And if there's any student that actually signed up for the LLM program, but failed to complete the 36 credits, then upon completion of 24, they will be awarded with the graduate diploma. The 36 credit program is our full LLM program, and it's really aimed at legal practitioners, academics, legislative draft persons, and students of law seeking higher qualifications. As I mentioned earlier, learning takes place via e-learning, technology, regionally, and globally. The program complements existing law postgraduate programs by providing a full suite of specialized courses to help focus your research goals. And it's taught jointly by staff from the 3 campuses of the UE, as well as adjunct lecturers who may be in places like Washington, D.C., or in Europe. And the course is offered through e-learning and other distance learning modalities. The nature of the UE LLM. A student may choose to receive either the general LLM or one of 7 specialized subcategories of the program. We have the general program. We have the corporate and commercial law program, the public law program, the legislative drafting program, the intellectual property program, the competition law program, and international dispute resolution. With the exception of the legislative drafting section of the program, a candidate registered in a UE LLM program may select any course from the list of courses offered from any subcategory. So if you've come as corporate and commercial, but there is, a public law course that you're interested in, we have one of the region's preeminent public law attorneys teaching the course, and you might want to hear about a new case that has been decided. You are able to take that course, notwithstanding your specialization. To obtain a specialized degree, you must complete 4 courses or 24 credit hours within that specialization, but you're able with the remaining credits to take a course in any other specialization. So our general LLM is very straightforward. If you have a wide range of interests and you wish to undertake courses from more than one specialization, this is the degree for you. Candidates selecting this route can select any course. Typically, we limit the research paper and the supervised legislative drafting internship. Well, the drafting internship is specifically for drafting students, and the research paper, we would have to ensure that there is someone who's able to supervise you. And with respect to the general degree. And so therefore we limit you with respect to the general degree, we limit you with in terms of the research paper. But if you have 24 credit hours, you'll get the diploma, but 36 credit hours in all of our other courses will get you this general degree. These are a sampling of the courses that you're able to choose from. They range from banking law, to public law, and the advanced and offshore law and IDR. The next degree is the Corporate and Commercial Law program, which is one of our most popular programs. Most people who come to us tend to come to us for this degree. And the aim of this program is to enhance the ability of legal practitioners and other qualified persons working in the corporate and financial services sector to function more effectively in areas such as offshore financial law, corporate finance, insolvency law, and intellectual property law. Again, 4 courses must be selected from the corporate and commercial designation, but you are able to use your remaining courses from in any other specialization. If you're registered for the full LLM, you must complete the 36 credits, but failing to do that, you will be given a postgraduate diploma if you have 24 credits. These are sampling of the corporate and commercial law program courses that are specific to this program. Again, we have e-commerce law, we have insurance law, we have advanced international environmental law. So in our specializations, we try to be as permissive and as broad as possible, so that you're not pigeonholed into one particular area of the specialization. The next degree that we offer is the intellectual property LLM. And the aim of this program is to enable legal practitioners and other interested persons to gain in-depth knowledge of intellectual property law in the Anglophone Caribbean and globally. It introduces topics such as patent law, copyright law, trademark law, international intellectual property law, international trade law, competition law, local intellectual property law, and trade and the management of intellectual property assets. WIPO, the World Intellectual Property Organization, has agreed to provide expertise in delivering some of these courses offered. And they have also provided input into the design of the program and the courses to be offered. We have an IP specialization, and here are some of the courses in that specialization: copyright, trademark, patent law, international intellectual property law, as I mentioned earlier, the management of intellectual property assets. And then we have probably our second most popular offering, and that's legislative drafting. And this specialized degree is designed to train lawyers in the skill of drafting legislation to further the regulation of societal affairs. This is a program that we do hold dear to our hearts because it helps to build the capacity in the region. And so while all of our programs obviously help to build capacity, we try to facilitate specific a relationship with the AG chambers within the region. All of our regions are in desperate need of drafters. And so we really see this program as sort of servicing, specific needs of our region. And we take pride in that. In addition to instruction and the technical skill of drafting traditional legislation, the program provides the candidates with a basic understanding of treaty drafting and also constitution writing. Again, areas that are very much in need across the Anglophone Caribbean. Courses for for the LLM and the postgraduate diploma in legislative drafting are delivered through blended learning. And as I mentioned earlier, this is the one program where there is some face-to-face instruction. So for 2 weeks, actually, the students are on campus from the 1st, from March 31st. So that was from Monday. They'll be here for 2 weeks for intensive residential sessions. Typically, the dates are announced at the beginning of the program so that you are able to plan accordingly. It almost always happens in semester 2. For the legislative drafting, there are a couple of different options that you may from which you may choose. So you have the course-based option where it's more traditional in terms of the 36 credit hours only with respect to courses. You also have the internship option here, and you can do either a research paper or supervised drafting internship, like I mentioned, in an AG's chambers most commonly, but in a related office, and you would do that over the summer. We have a postgraduate diploma and also an LLM in public law. And this aims to provide legal practitioners, magistrates, senior public servants, and other qualified persons with advanced training and a deeper understanding of issues in the core subjects of constitutional and administrative law, in addition to others relevant to the regulation of public authorities. Again, candidates must complete 36 credit hours in the designated area of study, with the same sort of caveat that 4 must come specifically from public law, and the other remaining can come from elsewhere in the program. With the permission of the faculty, you're able to do a research paper. And if you fail to complete all 36 credit hours, you'd get the postgraduate diploma. These are some of the courses that we are continuing to expand. So we have a number of oil and gas options that are taught from our St. Augustine campus in Trinidad and Tobago. And those courses will also fulfill the LLM for in public law. One of our newer courses is the LLM in International Dispute Resolution. And this degree aims to facilitate students' advanced legal education, leading to a postgraduate qualification in the evolving discipline of alternative dispute resolution. And again, this is an area that we are really trying to build capacity in across the region. And we've tried to fill this need because we noticed that the Caribbean continues to lag behind the rest of the world with respect to ADR. It's one of our more popular choices recently, and actually Dean Hippolyte designed the course and teaches on this course as well. Candidates for the UE LLM and IDR, again, must complete the 36 credit hours. And you can also substitute, one of the courses with a research paper on a topic of IDR. These are some of the courses. There's advanced international commercial arbitration, there's international commercial litigation, mediation practice, investor-state arbitration, sports dispute resolution, and construction dispute resolution. Perhaps our newest offering is competition law and policy. And this is designed for practitioners in law, including in-house counsel, economists and firms, private sector lawyers, the judiciary and staff of competition commissions, in order to prepare them for representing their firms or clients in competition cases, for becoming enforcers in competition commissions, or for the judiciary in adjudicating competition law cases that can get a bit complicated with some of the economics that are involved. Candidates for the LLM degree in competition law must complete, again, the 36 credit hours. Now, this course is a little bit different in that each course builds on the other. So this course is not quite as flexible as the others because of the quantitative aspect, the economic concepts. A lot is assumed once you get to a certain, like semester 2 courses, the knowledge of semester 1 is assumed. And they sort of work in tandem. And it's difficult to just jump in and take one of these courses as an elective if you don't necessarily have the prerequisites or a background in econ. And so this course is slightly less flexible. But again, we're fulfilling the need and trying to build capacity in this area in the region. These are some of the competition law courses that you would be taking. You'd be taking Intro to Competition Law, Industrial Organizations for Competition, Navigating Law and Economics when Enforcing Competition Laws in CARICOM, Competition Law and the Economics of Competition, International Dimensions of Competition Law, and the Evolution of Competition Law. So those are our 7 core, our seven taught programs. In order to receive either the graduate certificate, a diploma or taught math, or the LLM, these are the benchmarks that you would need to pass. So you need at least a 2.0 in order to be awarded any of the degrees, and 3.7 and above is distinction, 3.3 to 3.69 is a merit, and 2.0 to 3.29 is a pass degree. Now, once you have your UE LLM, we have introduced two new partnerships with law schools outside of the region. So the first is the University of the West Indies and University of Dayton double LLM degree in intellectual property law and American transnational law. It's also corporate and commercial. So this program is aimed at legal practitioners, academics, legislative draft persons, and students of law seeking higher qualifications. It allows graduate legal education to take place at Cave Hill, Mona, or St. Augustine, and again, through learning technology regionally and globally. So Dayton also has an online program, and the idea is once you've received a degree from us, you are then at a heavily discounted rate, allowed to pursue a degree, an LLM in American and transnational law. So you would get a UE intellectual property LLM or corporate and commercial LLM, and then you would apply to the program to Dayton, and you would matriculate there as a student reading for American and transnational law. What this degree would allow is for you to then be eligible to take a bar exam in the United States. So the appeal of this program from the Caribbean perspective is the possibility of sitting that degree and then being able to take New York or California bar exams. And we've been finding that there's a lot of interest on their end to understand sort of Caribbean law. And there are students of Caribbean descent that are at the University of Dayton in Ohio who are very interested in joining us and learning Caribbean law as well. The first year must be completed at UE, and then you go on to Dayton. It can't be done the other way around. The next one is our partnership with the University of Leuphana in Germany. And here, you would earn a double LLM degree from the University of the West Indies and Leuphana. And you will be getting an LLM in international economic law, which would be a minimum 12-month program. And you would do your first 2 semesters here at UE online, and then you would travel to Germany and you would take a semester there and do a research paper at Leuphana. And you would be reading for this degree in international economic law. You'd be taking international economic law, European economic law, and European private law. For the final period at Leuphana, the student will complete a master's dissertation. Currently, we're expecting students from Leuphana to matriculate in our program as of next year. So this is something else that has, taken, that has garnered a lot of interest, and I think speaks to the international nature of our program and the ways in which we are trying to increase. That seems to be my time, but the ways in which we are trying to spread our reach globally and sort of foster a greater knowledge transfer and networking for our students. So on that note, I thank you for your time and attention. I will be here to field questions at the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Matthews, our Deputy Dean for Graduate Studies and Research in the Faculty of Law. And I am sure that even our LLB prospects who are now looking to go into the LLB program must be feeling excited about what, the possibilities that lay ahead after they have finished the LLB. And certainly, I'm sure you have given all the information that persons who, and there are several persons who have indicated that they have come for an interest in the postgraduate programs. And I'm sure you would have given them answers already to many questions that they might have. But as you indicated, they will have an opportunity for, to answer their questions later on. And that will not be too far off because we only have 2 other presentations. And in fact, the next one is mine. For those who joined late, just let me see. Okay, Dr. Matthews, can you stop sharing? No, I think it's okay. It's okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. Yeah, so I'm just gonna, many of the persons who are here attending the session are from outside Barbados. So you will not have an idea, a visual idea as to what the campus is like. So I'm supposed to give you in a few minutes just a very brief introduction to the Cave Hill campus. So that's what I am going to do now. As I indicated before, for those who were here early, I am Patricia Atherley, and I am the director of our Student Enrollment and Retention Unit, known as the SERU. That is the customer service arm for students here at Cave Hill. It does many other things as well. And I have several of my colleagues here this evening who are assisting in the background in various ways. And I want to highlight particularly Mrs. Rosemary Bell, who is our recruitment and outreach coordinator. And at some point, ask her to put her video on that we can see her face. And also Mrs. Althea Green-Ford, who is our coordinator for student engagement and customer service. But we have other colleagues online as well. So that's just a little bit about the Cave Hill campus. And well, about our university, by now, I'm sure you all know that we have been rated. We haven't rated ourselves. We have been rated by Times Higher Education as the #1 university in the Caribbean. And we are rated among the top 100 Golden Age universities. Those are universities that were established between 1945 and 1967, the UWI having been established in 1948. And this Cave Hill campus in 1963. So our campus is part of a network. We are one of two regional universities in the world, the other being the University of the South Pacific, and that is universities that have campuses in a number of different sovereign countries. We have campuses in 4 countries of the Caribbean, Barbados, of course, Jamaica, Trinidad, and Antigua. And then we have a global campus. And together, our network serves over 55,000 students. Now, we think, and I know that our president of the Law Society, Tony Ann, earlier, she said it, and she's a student, that she thinks that we are special among the UWI campuses. And we do think that we are. There are a number of things that we think make us special. For one, we are a very beautiful campus. Just showing you a few of the iconic buildings on the campus. Up there at the far right is the building that houses the Faculty of Law and our premier law library, the foremost law library in the English speaking Caribbean. We're not only beautiful in terms of buildings, we've been trying to build out our grounds, and particularly to provide socialization spots for our students so that they can continue their discussions and so outside of the classroom. And we are a fully Wi-Fi enabled campus, which means that you can have your connectivity even under the trees. We have 2 parts to the campus. Those buildings that you saw just now are from the main campus at Cave Hill, where we also have about 5 minutes walk away our Paradise Park campus, and that's where our Academy of Sport, our main sporting facilities, our stadium, our Usain Bolt complex, where that is located, along with our graduate studies building, which is at the bottom left. And within the Academy of Sport, we have a state-of-the-art biomechanics laboratory, which is important for not only for persons who are studying sports science, but for the training of our student athletes as well, if there are any sports persons among you. We are, as indicated earlier, a very diverse campus. And this is something that our students really love about the campus. We draw our students from across the English-speaking Caribbean, and in some cases, even non-English-speaking Caribbean countries, once students can meet the English language requirement. And we are increasingly global in our composition as well. We have a lot of international students primarily coming for a year or a semester as part of our exchange program that I will mention a little bit later down. But it is certainly a wonderful place to build your Caribbean network that will serve you well when you go out into the world of work. So we are a serious campus, a place of hard work, as you have heard before, but also a place of fun. And a lot of that fun comes around our associations, particularly our island associations, and the kinds of activities that they stage each year to share, their culture and generally to enhance the cultural life of the and social life of the campus. We have a wonderful residence life. We have 3 halls of residence, 2 located right on the campus, and 1 located about 5 minutes walk between the 2 sections of the campus that I showed earlier. Most of our rooms are single rooms, but students share bathroom, kitchen, and living spaces. And the halls are known as much for their friendly atmosphere as they are known for their friendly rivalry. So we have the Wirral Hall, and they call themselves the Ruralites. We have the Sherlock Hall, and they call themselves the Sherlockites. And then we have the Hunters of the Keith Hunt Hall. In terms of the environs, the campus is pretty conveniently located. We are about 15 minutes drive from Bridgetown, the capital city, there on the far left. And we also surrounded by 2 shopping areas at Warren's and at Blackrock, where you have, restaurants, supermarkets, and other shops. And Bridgetown, as I said, is about 15 minutes away. You see at the far left, at top there, that's one of the fleet of the shuttles that the campus has for students, provides free transportation into Bridgetown throughout the day, as well as to students' homes within a 5-mile radius of the campus. And we are, of course, very close to some of the island's beautiful beaches that the students love and value. So the law faculty programs, the law faculty is one of 7 faculties represented on the Cave Hill campus, and you offering over 350 programs, and you have been hearing about the programs that are offered specifically within the Faculty of Law. For those who are into sport, sport is very big at UWI and certainly here at the Cave Hill campus, and the Academy of Sport supports over 14 sporting disciplines, and a number of our teams enter the local competitions, and not only enter but do very well. Our cricket team having football team, sorry, having won the inaugural Prime Minister's Cup, and with it $100,000 just a few weeks ago. Study abroad, for though we say we offer our students the best of both worlds. I know that Deputy Dean Burke mentioned the range of options available in 3rd year, and that is when the Faculty of Law students would have an opportunity in that first semester of the 3rd year, if they so desire, to go study abroad, to spend a semester at one of our many institutions, international universities with which we have partnerships. For law, many of the students tend to choose Canada, or the increasingly now partners in the United Kingdom. And how that works, you don't pay any additional fees to those campuses. Any fees that are paid on your behalf by your governments, or that you are you're required to pay, you pay those as usual to the Cave Hill campus. And then you can go on your way, looking only for your maintenance fees, because any tuition fees are waived. For some of those locations, particularly in Canada, there are some scholarships available to support maintenance as well. We pay attention to holistic student development. So we have a pretty vibrant Office of Student Services and Development that provides a range of support services for students, academic support services, career, disability, psychological counseling, and so on. We have a health clinic on the campus with a resident doctor, and students, by virtue of paying their miscellaneous university fees, are covered for basic health insurance as well. Just a little indication in terms of fees, but I'm sure if you're thinking about joining us, you're aware of what the fees are like right now. For the Faculty of Law, Undergraduate programs, 54,000 Barbados dollars. That's 27,000 US dollars per year. Students coming from the countries of the where they're not no campuses, like Dominica, Grenada, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, and so on. Their fees are discounted by approximately 66%. So that is the cost of a law degree for a person from those countries is 24,000 Barbados dollars per year. For the campus countries, Barbados, Trinidad, and Jamaica, those three, the economic cost component of the fees is paid by the government, and then students may have to pay the $9,000 tuition fees. Barbadian students, the government pays the entire amount if it is a first degree that the government is funding. Other students who are not from countries that are not members of the university, the cost is 54,000 Barbados dollars per year. As I said, 27,000 US dollars per year. But depending on the country that you're coming from, there may be scholarships or partial scholarships, I should say, awarded for that. These costs also apply to these particular postgraduate programs, the postgraduate diploma or the LLM in legislative drafting, and the MPhil or PhD in law. In terms of other law degrees, these are the costs. The postgraduate diploma, 13,300 Barbados dollars, or the LLM in all of those areas of concentration, 20,000 Barbados dollars, which is 10,000 US dollars. So as you can see, the programs are quite affordable. Just to say that, graduates of the UWI are globally, respected and recognized. Our students do very, very well. Those that decide to go off elsewhere to do postgraduate study, they don't only get into any of the world's top universities, but they excel as well. This young man here, a former member of the Faculty of Law, he got a Rhodes Scholarship and went on to Oxford University. So we have, the range of postgraduate options for you, but in those cases where an LLB graduate decides that they go off for LLM elsewhere, they can be sure that they will be very well prepared. All right. So I had a little video for you, but I think because of time, I'm not going to show it at this time. Maybe at the end, if we have time. It is just a video by a former member of the faculty, but I think I will end it there for now. But just to say that we look forward to welcoming many of you to the Cave Hill campus come August, September, because we think you belong here. And we hope that you will think the same once you join us. Just to share some contact information, as I said, the SERU is the customer service arm for the campus. So if you have any general questions that you want to have answered, you can shoot us an email at recruitment@Cave Hill. That's the team in our office that would deal with incoming students. Of course, you should be familiar by now with our Cave Hill website. You can also contact us in the SERU by WhatsApp if that's easier for you, and we encourage you to follow us as well, because we do share a lot of information, what we say, on the road to enrollment, things that you will find of interest and importance in terms of preparing to join the campus. So that's it from me. I will stop sharing now. And I will invite our last presenter before we move on to questions to present. And she is Mrs. Carol Jordan, and she is the Assistant Registrar in our Student Affairs Admissions Office. So Mrs. Jordan.
Good evening, aspiring legal minds. Now, it is with great enthusiasm that I welcome all of you to this virtual session from the admissions office. Now, this evening marks the beginning of what could be one of the most transformative journeys of your life. During the session this evening, what I will do is just give you a brief walkthrough on the complete application journey from the moment you submitted your application to the day when you get your decision, and that is your final decision from us. Additionally, I'll also just let you know that we deal with such matters as processing of requests for leave of absence, handling of exemptions, all of which must first receive approval from the faculty. And we also manage all aspects of the registration process. Many of you who are here, for those in the undergrad, you would know that in order to be considered for the Faculty of Law, you must have 5 CXCs, which includes English language, and have an associate's degree with a GPA of 3 and above, or 2 complete units of CAPE, recognizing, however, that the Faculty of Law is very competitive, which means then we would want that you have what we would consider to be competitive grades in order to be considered for the Faculty of Law. What we also would like is that, you know, when you're making an application to the Faculty of Law, the Faculty of Law only has one program, which is the LLB, and we encourage persons to also provide us with a program of second choice in the event that you are not successful due to competition with the first choice, that we can consider you for something within another department, another faculty, sorry. For the graduate studies, most of you here again may have already made your applications and so on, and these are the qualifications that you would need to be considered for the program.
Philly.
The required documentation, and I keep saying that, you know, for most of you, because most of you, I know you would have already made your application, some of you may have already gotten offers, but certainly if you know of anyone, or if there is anyone on the call that have not yet sent their documents or are not sure of what they're supposed to send, these are some of the things that we would require from you. All of this information is available on our website. In addition, we send this information to you. Once you make the application, you get an email from us. There is automated information letting you know exactly what it is that is required from you. Likewise, for our postgraduate students, we also provide you with information on the website, as well as emails directed to you, informing you of what it is you would need to present to us in order for us to process your application. And it is important to note that for the MPhil and the PhD applicants, a research proposal 2 to 3 pages outlining your area of study is important to also indicate to us when you submit your documents. Now, for both undergrad and postgrad, documents are mandatory for processing. Missing documents will, in fact, delay your application review, and you are reminder correspondence will be sent to you. So if it is that you sent us stuff and you didn't send us everything, we will send you correspondence to let you know that. If you have not sent us anything at all, we will send you correspondence to let you know that as well. So we're reminding you by sending you correspondence, and we're also letting you know on our website from day one what is exactly required of you. Now, when you submit your documents, and this may be for anyone who is on the call now, who may now have made an application, within 2 to 3 weeks after you receive your upload link, you are required to submit all of the documentation. Remember, we spoke just now about what the documentation would look like for both undergrad and postgrad. We're asking that you have those documents certified. And a certified document is just a document that is signed and stamped by what we would call a professional. You know, in most cases where we go to have our passport. So, you know, when we're doing our passports, we actually have to take a photo, and then we have the justice of peace, or we have a lawyer sign and stamp, that is exactly what we would want you to do with your documents. Now, you're not stamping and signing your original stuff. You're making a copy and presenting both to the person, the professional person, and they would sign and stamp. And that is what we are asking that you send to us. And very, very, very important, we ask that you ensure you provide us with a valid email address. Quite often, we find ourselves sending stuff out, but then it comes back to us as undelivered because the email address may not necessarily be correct. And we would want that you can get your correspondence and so on. So if it is that you sent us an email address and you're no longer using that email address, just let us know. You can give us a call, you can send us an email at one of our email addresses using our contact card, and you can let us know what your email address is now, because everything we have for you, whether it is the admissions office, the SERU department, student services, you know, whoever has anything for you as you transition from an applicant to a student, we will be using this email address. When you become a student, you have a specific email address that you would use. Now, in terms of those who would have already made your applications from November to January the 31st, all of you by now should have heard something from us. Notice I said heard something from us and not necessarily gotten a final decision. Now, as we did your processing of the application, what we tried to do is to ensure that every step of the way, you knew exactly what was happening. As you can appreciate, everyone will not receive an offer immediately, but certainly you know exactly what is happening. You know, okay, they would have taken my application, they processed it, or got that correspondence. In some cases, some persons were asked to provide us with more information. I got that other piece of correspondence. So every time, every step along the application process, you would receive something from us. Ideally, you know, we would want that everyone would be able to get a final decision to let you hear whether or not you have been accepted. Do note that some of you, you know, we would have done some more processing and so on right up until Monday was March the 31st, which was the final. So if you do go on the chat portal, you will see exactly what is happening if you have not yet received another piece of correspondence. But I know that all of you would have received something, and this would both be for undergrad and postgrad, even if it is not a final decision. Now, the applications that were submitted between February to March, you will hear something from us by May the 31st. Now, the English language proficiency test. The English language proficiency test is scheduled for April the 15th. Not everyone will be required to take the test, and we encourage you. I know that you would have received a notice over the weekend because we kind of wanted to remind you. Now, you would have received when you got your acknowledgement letter and so on, we would have indicated to you about the English language, but we thought it necessary to send you that extra reminder. And the reason for that is because the deadline for registration for the April test is the 4th of April. So we don't want a case where you miss out on being able to do the test the first time we're having it for this academic year, which is April the 15th. Do note that the test is online, so you do not have to be here in Barbados to take the test. Like I said, not everyone has to take the test. When you take a look at the notice, there is actually a link that takes you to the Department of Language, Linguistics and Literature, which explains fully who is exempted from the test. So for example, anyone who has CXC English at a grade 1, you will not be required to take the test. If you have B and above from our local Barbados Community College, you will not be required to take the test. These are just 2 examples. All the other courses are courses or subjects that would exempt you are listed on that site. The cost of the test is $50 Barbados. You can only attempt the test once. So if you are not in the position to do it now in April, you have the option to do it in August. But if you do it in April, you cannot redo it in August. And this test is only for undergraduate students and not postgraduate students. If you do not take the test in any of the two sittings, or you fail the test, you will be required to take our English language preliminary course, Fundamentals of Written English, the cost of which is $500 Barbados, and that is an actual course that is for the entire semester. That fee is separate from your university fees that you will be required to pay at the beginning of the semester before you register. So thank you very much for listening to me. Here is our contact information, and you would have received in the correspondence that you get from us, there is a little catch line that says contact card. And on that contact card, you can see the information for your undergraduate admissions representative, as well as your postgraduate taught master's representative. For the research masters, you will contact the student enrollment and retention unit or customer service there, and the email address remains gradstudies@kphil.uwi.edu. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Jordan. Now, I know I've seen a number of questions being put in the chat in relation to admissions matters. At this point, we are going to, move to the question and answer segment. And we're thinking that it's better to organize it by undergrad and postgrad. So I know that our technical expert, Andre Ellis, who is also from the Student Enrollment and Retention Unit, he's doing all the technical work this evening, would have set up some breakout rooms. I don't think we will need to use them all. I think we will have a breakout room for the postgraduate students. So all those who are not students, prospective students. So all those who are interested in postgraduate programs, and I know I've seen a couple of questions for postgrad in the chat already, we will want you to go to that postgraduate breakout room where you will can engage further with Dr. Matthews around any questions related to the postgraduate programs. All right. If you have a question that is more admin related, like you've submitted an application and you have a question about that, whether you're undergrad or postgrad, then we will answer those in the main room where we are now. All right. So for the postgraduate program persons, we're gonna have you go to the breakout room for postgraduate students. The undergrads can remain in this room. And then any postgrads that have a question that has to do with an application that they have submitted, or a question that may be best answered by the admissions registrar, then you can stay here as well, in the main room as well. So Andre, is that okay? So how do we now move persons to the breakout room for postgrad? That's what we want to do at this point. At the bottom of your screen, where you see the 3 dots and the word more, which takes you to more tools on Zoom, if you click on that, you should see and then you see breakout rooms. And then you click on breakout rooms, you will see the postgraduate room, and you can click on that. You can click on that room. All right, so we have remaining with us now, or we should have remaining with us now, the persons who are interested in the LLB program, and we can move to question and answer for those programs. I know we still have Dr. Burke with us, as well as perhaps, I'm not sure if the dean is still with us. but I know for sure Dr. Burke is still with us. All right, and also Mrs. Jordan, our admissions registrar, should be with us here as well. All right, so let me see. So we will start with any questions that we have had in the chat. So if we can go back up, and I will ask my team, Althea Greenford, we have Tara Mosley with us as well from the SERU, Mrs. Bell, Rosemary Bell. Those are the three staff members supporting this process. So if you can help me identify any questions that are already in there, we can have those questions answered. So I'm going down now. I haven't got to the questions as yet. All right, you had that question, is the undergraduate program in person? And that was answered, yes, the undergraduate program is a face-to-face program, unlike the postgraduate program. Now, this is an LLM question. Ms. Clark, Lois, I hope would have gone over to the LLM. If you haven't and you're still here, you can let us know so that we can answer your question, but hopefully you have gone over to the LLM, to the master's, the postgraduate breakout room. Somebody was asking, when will lectures begin for the undergraduates? But I can tell you right now, the proposed dates for our semester, these have not been finalized as yet. But under the proposed dates that have been circulated, we're looking for lectures to start on September the 1st. That's the tentative date. So you can plan around that date, but the final dates will be shared with you as soon as they have been confirmed. So you can start your planning. It is around September 1st is the proposed date for the start of teaching. If I don't live in Barbados, but have a Bajan citizenship, will everything be paid? Mrs. Jordan, do you want to answer that question?
She said that she's living in Barbados and she wants to know if everything will be paid.
She doesn't live in Barbados.
So she doesn't, but she
has Bajan citizenship.
Yes. So once you have the Barbadian, you said Bajan, once you have the Barbadian citizenship, you will be sponsored by the government of Barbados. So yes, what you will ensure that you do is to provide us with the birth certificate as well as that certificate of registration that shows that you are in fact a citizen of Barbados, and we will indicate that on your record that you are a citizen of Barbados, and you would only have to pay Barbadian fees, which would be the university fees.
And those university fees are approximately $540 per semester. How long is the processing time for undergrad? Well, Mrs. Jordan addressed that, and Natalie Brown also reiterated it. That if you applied up until the end of January, you should have heard something by now, by March 31st. And anybody applying between February and March 31st, you should be hearing by May the 31st, and so on. That's all stated in the chat. Right? If you submitted an application between April and May 31st, then you should be getting those responses by July the 31st. What if I mistakenly sent the unnotarized copy? Can I still send my notarized copy, Mrs. Jordan? If I mistakenly uploaded copies that were not certified, what do I do?
What you can do is, well, the thing about it is that by now all of the other sections that we may have had available may be gone. So what you may need to do would be to send an email to the undergraduate representative who will open one of the links, and you can upload all of them. You can actually upload all of your documents under one link, and you do that only because you would have uploaded things in the others that are not certified. And that's the only reason we allow you then to put everything there. So we would have those on record that there are in fact the certified documents. But ideally, we would love that you be able to put your birth certificate in the birth certificate, O levels, you see what I'm saying? But if you have already done that, you will not be able to There's no provision for us to remove what you would have uploaded for you to re-upload. So we will actually have to open another section, and it may be something called, we may open a section called PID, just so that you can upload what it is that you need to upload to us.
All right, so you said that they should email. To whom should they send that email?
The undergraduate email address, that email address is lawadmissions with an S at kphil.uwi.edu. Now, if it is that you have a section still available, you can utilize that section.
All right, so you only need to.
We check every single section when we're processing, because we do appreciate that sometimes you may upload your birth certificate in your CXC section. So we check every single section once we're processing your applications.
All right, so you only need to send that email then if you don't have an empty slot. But
Yes.
once you have something left that you can upload to, what Mrs. Jordan is saying, use that and upload the documents, the certified or notarized documents. Okay, I hope that answers your question. If not, you can question again. This person is saying, I have not received any updates via email or the chat portal. Okay, Natalie is asking them, when did you submit your application? Natalie is also a member of the SERU team. Thank you, Natalie. And the person said January 31st.
And the name of the person is, I have my list here.
The person is Jahim Franzua, Franzua. I hope that that's your name. Jahim, is that your surname?
Franzua,
Franzua.
Jahim, yes.
All right, so while we are looking for that for Jahim, persons who are exempted from the ELTPT required to communicate in any way that they are exempted, like by email. And no, they're not required to say anything, are they, Mrs. Jordan? If you are exempted from the ELPT, you don't need to tell anybody, and you don't need to say anything. No, you don't. So if you are, once you are sure you are exempted, you've checked and you meet the criteria, or the individual criterion, whatever it is for exemption, then no, you don't need to indicate.
As it relates to Jahim, you may have started your application on the 31st, but our application date that you would have submitted, you would have completed it, would have been the 5th of February. So you will be in the next set of persons that will start to receive stuff from us.
Right. Thank you, Jahim. It doesn't mean that you may have to wait until the end of May. That's just the deadline. You will get it. You will before then. Thank you very much. Let's see. Is this particular program offered at the other UWI campuses? We were trying to find out, Dr. Matthews was trying to find out which program the person talked about. Oh, he said about the 2 international partnerships that were mentioned. Now, if you are still here, Andre, I hope not, Andre Cordis, you should have gone over into the LLM group. So please indicate that you have gone over. Well, if you're not, if you're over, you can't indicate anything. Andre, can you check to see if Cordis is still here, and if he is, then please assign him to the LLM group because he has an LLM question. Andre Cordis, Cordice. All right, hi. On the application portal, it says decision made, but I have not gotten official correspondence with regard to it, if I have an offer or not, Mrs. Jordan.
Good. So what is happening is that you will very shortly get something from us. Now, remember what we said in the beginning, we wanted to ensure that everybody had something by March 31st, because that was our commitment to you, to ensure that you knew exactly what was happening with your application by March 31st. by seeing that a decision was made, it will not necessarily say whether, you know, you got through or you have not gotten through, but at least you know for sure that you are getting, you know, a decision has been made. So what I will say to you, to give us about 2 weeks or so, and you will definitely hear you will definitely get that email from us letting you know what that final decision is.
Great. Thank you very much, Mrs. Jordan. Now, also bear in mind, so far you've been asking, and now you're answering mainly admissions, you know, type questions, but just be aware that Dr. Burke is still here, or a Deputy Dean for Undergraduate Affairs and Programs within the Faculty of Law. So if you have any type of questions around, you know, the content of the LLB program, Dr. Burke would be only too happy to answer any content program related questions. And you don't have to type only in the chat. If you want to let us hear your voice, you can do that. You can open your microphone and let us hear your voice and ask your question as well. All right, so we are very much open to that. Now, hi, Dr. Mba. Hope I'm calling your name.
Yes.
I'm not doing any kind of you know, injustice to your name. Welcome,
That's
sir.
right.
Yes, you have a
Thank
question.
you.
Have a question.
I have a question. So I graduated from the University of Legon in Ghana. I have a couple of degrees, and I applied with my BSc in lab tech. So that is an English-speaking university. So I wish to ask if I'm still going to write the English exam. Am I still going to write it?
Okay, Mrs. Jordan, answer that question for me, please.
She said she graduated with lab tech. I didn't get
BSc. Yeah, BSc in laboratory technology.
Yes, a BSc in laboratory technology.
So what would happen is that you would actually have to provide the Department of Language, Linguistics, and Literature with a copy of your transcript, which indicates the level of English that you have, and the grade that you have in, because it's a degree you said that you did already?
Yes, I uploaded my transcript. I have a GPA of 4.0. The certificate and the transcript, everything I uploaded.
And you're coming to do a postgrad or undergrad?
No, I'm doing an undergrad, the LLB in law.
Because normally once you have, like, let's say we have an applicant who would have done a degree with us before, then you would not be required to take the English language proficiency test. But because it is, you know, we are not affiliated with that particular institution, I would want them to take a look at the content of that particular English. So what you said that we have a copy of the transcript?
Yeah, I sent the copy, but I didn't send the notarized copy, so I'm yet to send it. I mistakenly sent the unauthorized copy.
But for your transcript, it has to come directly from the granting institution. So even though we will take a look at your student copy to see where you are at right now, we really cannot process your application in its entirety if we do not get it from the granting institution.
Okay, okay.
All right, and that doesn't have to be they don't have to send it by regular mail. It can be sent directly to us at the admissions email address from the granting institution. So once the granting institution sends it directly to us, it can come via email. They can send it via parchment where we can download it. They can give us a link, but it has to be directly from the granting institution.
Okay, okay, good.
In the interim, though, Mrs. Jordan, since if a transcript has been uploaded, can we have the faculty, the department look at that and indicate?
Yeah, so what we would also want would be the course content as well. So if you can send us a copy of the English, just the English, not the entire program that you would have done, just the English, so that we can ask them, you know, if you would be exempted. Normally it is the student though that is supposed to reach out to the department, but we will just ask a question on your behalf as part of the application process.
All right, okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Let's continue in terms of the questions. Somebody's asking about the tentative date for the first year orientation and the start of first semester. As I indicated before, you may not have heard, the tentative dates that have been shared, August 24th for the start of the semester with teachers to start the 1st of September. So at the period between there, it would be the orientation date would fall between that period of the 24th of August and September 1st. Those are just tentative dates. So now what's the exact date that school begins? Again, those are the tentative dates. We have not yet got the final dates, but we will be sharing those as soon as they become available. And at this time, I should also let you know that we do have, and we are in the process of updating our new student website, on which all the dates will be shared as well as soon as they are confirmed. And the new student website is a good resource for information for persons who are looking to come in, both undergrad and postgrad, on things like orientation and registration, and just to understand the structure of, of the place and the processes and so on. So you could take a look at the new student website, and we'll be updating that, continue to update that when as the dates are confirmed.